Dear students, welcome back to SWAYAM program on information technology applications in libraries. We had discussed about intellectual property rights in detail with a special reference to India. But there are some intellectual property rights especially designed for digital content, for digital media. So that generally we calling as a digital rights management. Digital rights management, DRM, refers to tools and methods used to manage and protect access to digital content and intellectual property. It helps prevent unauthorized copying, sharing, or use of materials like ebooks, music, movies, software, and other digital media. So, this digital rights management it is especially designed to manage and protect the access to digital content. Hi learners, this is today's agenda. Importance of digital rights management in the digital age. Historical developments of DRM, components of digital rights management, types of DRM, benefits of DRM, challenges of DRM, legal aspects of DRM, DRM in India and legal provisions, digital right management and library practices. These are the areas which we are going to cover. And as I told you, digital right management is a set of tools and strategies that has been designed to safeguard the intellectual property rights associated with digital information. These rights address content distribution, access control, intellectual property protection, and the prevention of unauthorized copying or distribution of digital content. Let us have some definition of digital right management. The International Organization for Standardization ISO defines digital rights management as the technologies, tools, and processes used to protect and control the use of digital content and devices after the initial sale. DRM is designed to protect the rights of content creators and distributors by preventing unauthorized access, copying, and sharing of digital content. So it is very clear from the definition that Rosenwald defined DRM as controlling and managing rights to digital intellectual property. And Anella 2001 defined DRM is a description, identification, trading, protection, monitoring, and tracking of all forms of rights usages over both tangible and intangible assets, including management of rights holders' relationships. Now let's discuss what are the importance of DRM in the digital age. It is very important to safeguard the intellectual property, promote revenue avenues, facilitate adaptable distribution models, and to ensure compliance with legal and regulatory guidelines. These are the major importance. Now let us discuss about the historical background of DRM, Digital Management System. It was started in the late 1990s. Initially, it was aimed to prevent legal distribution and copying of digital property such as software, music, and videos. Early DRM systems utilized digital watermarking and symbol encryption methods. Napster and similar platforms in the early 2000s caused widespread piracy, creating a crisis in the music industry. Apple and Sony developed DRM technologies to protect digital music, and launched in 2003, the iTunes Store used Fireplay DRM, restricting playback to Apple devices and apps like iTunes and iPods. DRM was criticized for being restrictive, limiting fair use, and hindering content transfer across platforms, frustrating users. By the late 2000s, DRM extended to ebooks, films, games with Adobe, Microsoft, and Amazon, creating platform specific DRM systems. Learners, next we find the development of DRM in the form of a transition to interoperability. As streaming services and digital libraries grew, DRM systems evolved for broader compatibility across devices and applications. As seen in standards like Adobe Primetime DRM and Marlin DRM. Subscription services like Netflix and Spotify adopted DRM to secure streaming content, balancing content protection with user convenience. The, right, the rise of smartphones and cloud storage in the 2010 leading to DRM solutions designed for mobile and cloud content, allowing easier on the go access to protected content. Recently, decentralized digital right management solutions leveraging blockchain and decentralized identifiers emerged that enhancing security and transparency. Modern DRM system emphasizes user experience, supporting seamless content access across devices while maintaining security and rights management. The development of DRM reflects ongoing efforts to balance user rights, content protection, and technological advancements in the digital age. Now, let us discuss what are the different components of digital rights management. You will find there are 6 components of digital rights management. The first one is encryption, second one is access control, licensing, right enforcements, watermarking, monitoring, and reporting. Now let us discuss one by one. What is encryption? Digital content is often encrypted to prevent unauthorized access or modification without the correct decryption key. This helps protect content from unauthorized use and distribution. So now let us see what is encryption. The digital content is often encrypted to prevent unauthorized access or modification without the correct decryption keys. This helps protect content from unauthorized use or distribution. There are different encryption techniques, for example, symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption, hashing, transposition, cipher. Encryption techniques. There are different encryption techniques such as symmetric encryption, asymmetric encryption, hashing, transposition, cipher. The second component is access control. DRM systems determine who can access the digital content. This is achieved by assigning specific rights to users such as read-only access, download permissions, or time-limited access to content. I think you must have experienced such a type of access control. You are not able to access all the documents which are available from the library from through your laptop or mobile, because it has some sort of access control has been made by the library or by the publishers. Types of access control: mandatory access control, discretionary access control, role-based access control, and different access control technique like access control list, capabilities, authentication factors. Learners, now we are discussing the another component, that is licensing. This is one of the important component of digital right management. DRM establishes clear terms of use for digital content through licensing agreements. For example, research articles may be licensed for individual use, institutional access, or educational purposes, each with its own set of restrictions. These licenses are governed by several segments and can be customized to meet specific requirements: user-based licenses, device-based licenses, and time-based licenses. This user-based licenses content is only accessible by the authorized user and is linked to particular individuals. Device-based license, this license is limited to the use of material on specific devices. For example, a movie downloaded may not work on other devices or may only work on the device on which it was first downloaded. Time-based licenses. These licenses permits restrict material access for a certain amount of time. Time-based licenses. These licenses permit restrict material access for a certain amount of time. For instance, for instance, access to a rented movie may be restricted to 48 hours, after which it will be deleted. The next one is rights enforcement. The freedom to access, copy, print, and distribute digital content is protected by digital rights management technologies. These rights are specified by content producers or rightful owners. Digital right management systems enforce permissions set by content creators or owners to restrict access, copying, printing, or distribution of digital content. These systems protect intellectual property and maintain the integrity of the data by making sure users abide by the permissions. Another component is watermarking. To incorporate information into digital content, certain DRM systems employ digital watermarking techniques. Watermarks are useful for tracking illegal distribution and locating the source of content leaks. The process of adding undetectable information to digital data, such as pictures, movie, and music, in order to confirm ownership, authenticity, or monitor, the process of adding undetectable information to digital data, such as in the form of a pictures, movie, or music, in order to confirm the ownership, authenticity, or monitor illicit use is known as digital watermarking. The process of adding undetectable information to digital data in order to confirm ownership, authenticity, or monitor illicit use is known as digital watermarking. In addition to providing copyright protection, it can transmit other metadata about the media. You'll find there are two types of digital watermarking. One is visible watermarking. Learners, there are two types of digital watermarking. One is visible watermarking and another is invisible watermarking. Visible watermarking used to identify ownership or brand media. This technique adds visible marks or logos. Visible watermarking used to identify ownership or brand media. This technique adds visible marks or logos. Invisible watermarking, copyright protection and tracking are possible using the invisible watermarking, which embeds information without changing the media's visual or audio quality. The last one is monitoring and reporting. To track usage trends, identify possible breaches, and provide usage reports for content owners, digital right management system frequently come with monitoring and reporting functions. To track the usage of digital content, identify possible breaches, and give content owners comprehensive usage reports, DRM systems frequently come with reporting and monitoring features. There are various subsystems in these functions: usage analytics, breach detection, complaints reporting, and audit trails. These are the various subtypes of monitoring and reporting. Learners, now we are going to discuss the various types of digital rights management. One is hardware-based DRM, second one is software-based DRM, and third is cloud-based DRM, and fourth one is mobile-based digital right management, and the fifth one is streaming DRM. The hardware-based DRM, this kind of DRM stores encryption keys and applies content protection through hardware components like hardware security modules. And the software-based DRM, this DRM programs that have software-based run exclusively in software settings. And the cloud-based DRM use cloud computing resources to govern access and handle digital content. And the mobile DRM, it is developed for tablets and smartphones. Mobile data right management solutions handle the particular difficulties associated with content protection on mobile platforms. Next is streaming DRM. Streaming digital right management system safeguard media that is provided through streaming services, including music or video on demand portals. For streaming material, they guarantee safe delivery, playback, and right management. For streaming materials, they guarantee sale delivery, playback, and rights management. For streaming material, they guarantee safe delivery, playback, and rights management. Learners, next is benefit of DRM. The DRM helps to protect the intellectual property of researchers, ensuring that their work is not copied, modified, or distributed without any permission. It ensures compliance with licensing terms, which can help institutions manage their subscription to academic resources. And DRM acts as a deterrent to casual piracy. DRM acts as a deterrent to casual piracy by restricting access to only those who have obtained the appropriate right. And let us see what are different challenges of DRM. Interoperability is a big concern since different DRM systems may not work with all platforms and electronic equipment. Users that access material across many devices or services may encounter disruption and difficulty as a result. Furthermore, DRM systems must be regularly updated and maintained in order to adapt new technical breakthroughs and security weakness, which can be difficult for content suppliers. A recurring challenge in DRM design is achieving a balance between user convenience and happiness and content security. And now let us have the legal aspects of DRM. The DRM is regulated by copyright laws, which vary from nation to nation, but generally grant authors the only power to determine how their works are distributed, performed, and reproduced. Then let us see what are the DRM in India and legal provisions. In India, the laws governing DRM are governed by the Copyright Act of 1957 and the Information Technology Act of 2000. And India's copyright laws, the fundamental law governing copyright in India is the Copyright Act of 1957, which aims to protect the right of writers, artists, and the owners of original work of literature, art, and music and drama. The Act provides legal protection for copyrighted works against unauthorized public performance, distribution, adaptation, and distribution. The Information Technology Act 2000 and its later amendments regulate aspects of digital transactions, including data security, electronic signatures, and cybercrimes. It provides a framework for electronic contracts and digital signatures. Repeat. The Information Technology Act 2000 and its later amendments regulate aspects of digital transactions, including data security, electronic signatures, and cyber crimes. It provides a framework for electronic contracts and digital signatures, both of which are essential for digital rights management implementation. And Government of India introduced the DigiLocker system to facilitate the secure sharing and archiving of digital material, including copyright protected content. The India government implemented the digital locker system. Digital locker system was implemented by Government of India to facilitate the secure sharing and archiving of digital material, including copyright protected content. And in accordance with the digital right guidelines, this solution provides a safe platform for managing digital content and guarantees access. Indian courts have, next one is judicial precedents. Indian court have stressed the importance of protecting digital content and upholding copyright owners' right in a manner of cases involving digital right management. Because to judicial interpretations, the DRM legal landscape in India is always changing. Learners, now we're discussing about the digital rights management and library practices. DRM and library functions. Libraries collect, arrange, and provide a range of digital resources accessible. They bring DRM system into compliance to manage licensing, enforce usage standards, and ensure copyright regulations are adhered to. The ethical concerns we have to take into consideration in the libraries are access balancing, privacy protection, encouraging fair use, advocating open access, and the open access and creative commons movements. So, in conclusion, I can say that digital right management is a valuable tool for safeguarding intellectual property in the digital age. But its implementation must be carefully balanced with the need for open access and collaboration in research. Digital rights management helps combat piracy and protect the intellectual property rights of creators. It ensures fair compensation for content creators and distributors. DRM encourages the development of new content by providing economic incentives. So, in future, emerging technologies such as blockchain may offer new ways to enhance DRM systems, providing greater security and transparency in managing digital rights. In summary, digital rights management plays a vital role in the digital economy by protecting the rights of creators and enabling fair use of content. However, achieving a balance between protecting intellectual property and ensuring consumers' right remains a key challenge. These are the references which we used. Okay, thank you, learners, for your attention for this lecture. We will be meeting again with another topic. Thank you.